Joining me now is Varsha Koduvayur. She is a senior research analyst at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, focusing on the Gulf states. What do you make of Mike Pompeo's diplomatic efforts?
I think it's a very good sign that the president dispatched Secretary Pompeo to go meet with the Saudis over this issue. I think it shows that the White House is taking a very tough approach for a drama that's been continuing for 2 weeks, that has been fueled by a slow drumbeat of drip feed allegations from Turkish authorities. And these allegations have been refuted entirely by the Saudis. But as for hard evidence, we are where we were on October 2nd when Khashoggi went into the consulate, and that is to say there's no hard evidence proving either way what happened. So this level of this high level of engagement is a very good sign that the U.S. is treating this issue with the right level of gravitas that it deserves.
You say refuted, but there's no refuting. He went in, he never came out. There was a team of about 15 that arrived. I mean, all of this has actually been proven, hasn't it?
The arrival of 15 people has been proven, but is it true that they are the squad that Saudi Arabia sent to take out Khashoggi? Is it true that Saudi Arabia sent a squad to take out Khashoggi? All of these are still allegations. They remain completely unproven. There are reports that the Saudis may be publishing a report in the coming days saying that Khashoggi was killed in an interrogation that went wrong in the consulate. And if that is the case and that is published, then we'll finally have some sort of closure.
What about the search by police? They find anything?
The police say that they have found certain evidence, quote unquote, that Khashoggi was indeed killed in the consulate. But again, we're back at square one. If evidence has been found, and Turkish authorities have said for the 2 weeks that we've been through this affair that there are recordings and that there are images and whatnot. But if that's the case, none of it has been released.
It's interesting because the U.S. president has a balancing act. He wants to maintain this relationship with Saudi Arabia. He does not have a very good relationship with journalists and journalism. If he was killed, I mean, that's an all-out assault on the free press, in a sense. How does he handle this whole thing?
I think we need to take a step back and make this less about the U.S. president and more about U.S. policy and the U.S.'s commitment to democratic values and norms, and in particular, the U.S.'s commitment to freedom of the press and freedom of expression. And we've seen a lot of messaging from the State Department, the White House, from the Vice President, that the U.S. remains strongly committed that this incident regarding Khashoggi is an absolute assault on all of those values and norms. And the fact that there is such high-level engagement from the American side over this issue, I think further attests to the severity of the situation and the gravitas that the U.S. is giving.
Well, one of the things, before we started this interview, you were mentioning you've got two governments that are not necessarily the best at telling the truth, and each one has their own agenda. But you also have a U.S. president who tends to fudge the facts on occasion as well. And he basically has come up with what a lot of people are looking at as kind of a cover story for the Saudis. This may be rogue elements. What do you make of all? I mean, we're getting so many different stories coming from so many different voices. What do you make of all of this?
No, absolutely. I have no sense to say that the U.S. president is the one that's making up this story of rogue actors. The media reports that were circulating that the Saudis may say it was a rogue actor killing Khashoggi in an interrogation gone wrong, I think that would give the Saudis a face-saving way of admitting culpability, the closest that they'll probably get to saying that they had a hand in it.
Well, Lindsey Graham came out today, said the Crown Prince is a wrecking ball, although, as you point out, there's no evidence he's got fingerprints on any of this. But he's saying that Saudi Arabia should be sanctioned. He's been a big supporter of Saudi Arabia. What about Congress and their role in all of this?
No, absolutely. The one thing for sure is that this incident is going to tank Saudi public opinion in America, and it's tanking the image of Saudi Arabia in Congress. There was already a little bit of a split between the administration and Congress over how Saudi Arabia was viewed. This incident has served to make that split even worse. It's served to tarnish the image of a new reforming Saudi Arabia that its crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, has been trying to champion for the past 2 years.
Well, it's certainly a mystery, and thanks so much for your analysis. Appreciate it, Varsha.
My pleasure. Thank you.